Hi everyone, and we're back with the Hubcasts with me, Michelle Craig. We're at Brightfield Business Hub today on a lovely sunny day. With us today we have Julie Randall from Enlivened. Hello.
Hi Michelle, thank you for having me today.
You're welcome. I'm glad you could make it. So Julie's here and she's going to tell us all about Enlivened, what it is and what she does.
Oh gosh, that's not a small remit, is it? Okay, well, I work as a wellbeing and life transition recovery coach. What does that mean in English?
Yes.
In English, what that means is, if I talk about people, most people have experienced some form of life transition during their lifetime, whether that is becoming a parent, whether that is being made redundant. Perhaps they've had someone in their life who's died, perhaps a relationship has ended. We all have stuff. And as we go through life, those things, unfortunately, often we get more of that stuff.
True.
And most of the time, we feel we can handle it. But sometimes we just can't. And sometimes it's an immediate thing that brings us up short and really makes us question who we are, what we're doing. Other times it's something historically that catches up with us.
Yes, yeah.
But ultimately, people get to that point where they feel, I need some help. I'm not happy, I'm not functioning properly. It can be a whole remit of things.
Yeah.
And that's where I come in. I help people to recover. Sometimes, as I said, that's from something new, or sometimes it can be from something in the past. Sometimes people do some healing on their own, and then they get to a point where they feel that just that last hurdle, they need that push over the hill, as it were. So that's what I do. And I do that with coaching, talking therapies, and I've got about 150 different tools in my little backpack that I take around with me to help people. Personally, I've experienced many of the things I help people with, as well as being a domestic abuse survivor myself. So there's a whole load of raft of stuff comes with that.
Yeah.
I've experienced burnout. I've done I've spent many years pretending life's okay to the public, and inside it being very different to that.
Yeah.
So all of those things. So I bring with me a wealth of personal experience. But also what I've done is, in the last sort of 5 years, I've also done a lot of training, because what I wanted to do was to be able to offer those tools, be able to bring those things in, not only use the things that help me from a personal basis, but also being able to have an additional sort of, as I said, a tool belt to help people as well.
Yeah.
So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I do coaching face to face. I also do a lot of work via Zoom, so it doesn't matter where people are in the country.
Yes, that's always handy these days, isn't it?
And I also run workshops, as you know, and events, and I've actually just started up a new community group as well, so which we can talk about more about. So yeah, I've got sort of a number of things that I do to really help people get onto that road of recovery.
Yeah. Okay. So this thing with people holding back, they show themselves as smiling, happy all the time. I bet that's quite a big thing, really, isn't it? Unfortunately,
it is. I think, particularly, in business, I think, and I when I first started in this line of work, I really felt I wanted to support women. And I still do support women. I'm, a strong advocate of female empowerment and all of those things. But one of the things I've come to realise is that guys have just as many challenges as women do. And that is often that there may be things going on in the background. And I think we are conditioned to believe that we go to work and we pretend everything's okay. And I think there is still a thing in society where that's an expectation. It's almost like you go to work and you leave your stuff at the door. And in an ideal world, certainly as an employer, we'd love people to do that. But that's not how it works. People do take their stuff with them. And often, if you're in a position of management or you own your own business, any of those things, you can feel that you although you're maybe not feeling your best, you do want to portray that, that isn't the issue to the world. But actually, you can, by continuing to do that, it doesn't work well for you. And that's not saying that you want to break down publicly. I'm not advocating that, but to get that help so that you can move forward, so that you can be ultimately happier again. And I know people laugh when I talk about happiness, but I think it's really key, because when you feel happy, you enjoy what you do, and in turn you do things better. So actually you become more successful. So for me, it's really key. It's really key.
That's true. So I understand, obviously you do a lot for women. Do you have guys that come to you for this? I do. Sort of thing in fact,
in the last year, I've actually had more male clients than I've had female, one-to-one, individually.
Well, that's good, because there was always a thing that guys didn't want to talk about things like that, and it's good if they're coming forward.
I think they are. Also, there's been a lot of a push on men's mental health. Unfortunately, suicide rates are still massive, so anything that can help with that. But I think guys are beginning to talk. And again, talking to someone who doesn't know them. Who doesn't know them, that doesn't work, doesn't move in their circles, it's easier. Which is great. So that's where I come in.
Okay. That sounds really interesting, and it's good to have someone like that people know they can go to and speak to them about their problems, or whatever it might be. One thing, where does the Enlivened come from?
Well, Enlivened was when I first set up the business. I was like, okay, what am I going to call this thing? Because I don't know. And I did a load of really basic. I did a load of different word searches, lots of different things. Looked at thesaurus, and I kept coming. Everything I put in kept coming back to this word. And I thought, well, actually, I think that word does. I want people to feel enlivened. I want them to feel. Get that boost back into their lives again and feel like they're living. So for me, that's where it came from. As I said, bit of research, words kept coming back to that, everything kept coming back to that. So in the end, I was like, well, we'll go with that.
It's a good word for what you do. It's a good word. So you do all this helping people, coaching, all this sort of thing. But I know you've got an event coming up in October.
A few years ago, madly, I decided to do an event for International Women's Day, which I think you may remember. I actually ran here. It was a really good event, really enjoyed it, and lots of really good feedback. But one of the things I realised is, because obviously I'd picked International Women's Day, there were lots of other events out there. And then it got me to thinking, well, the event was really well received, and why only do something for something like International Women's Day? So I decided to move the event to another time in the year, and then I was like, well, that's all very well and good, but now what do I call this thing? So I created the Confidence and Wellbeing Conference for Business Women. And it's a day for women to come together, typically working women, although you can be retired if that's what floats your boat, if you might still have those connections with the community that you still want to keep going, and that's fine too. But generally, working women, most of the women who come to the event are either business owners or managers, although there are some who aren't, but most of them are. And the day is for them. It's for day for them to get to network, let their hair down, meet new people. Well, we also have Elite Exhibition, which is exhibition of businesses that are female-led, generally owned by women, and those products or services are going to be useful to the people in the room. We also have some fantastic speakers. I'm one of them. That's the not so good one. No, I joke. So we have some great speakers. We have a lovely lunch. The room is decorated, and I know that sounds a bit twee, but actually it's all about putting on something that's specifically for those women in that room that day. So they can come, they can enjoy it, and they leave enthused and wanting to go out into that world, feeling differently. And the feedback we had was amazing.
That's good.
I was going to run it last year, as you know, but unfortunately I wasn't very well, so we didn't have one last year. But no, the next one, October the 15th. And I'm delighted to say that you guys are one of our official sponsors, so thank you very much for that.
Honoured to do that.
And I know it's going to be a great day. We've got a load of great stuff in there. We've got 3, apart from me, and I'll be, I think, probably surprising people with what I talk about this time. Often I do talk about domestic abuse, but actually I'm only going to touch on this time. So if you're wondering what she's going to talk about this time, then you need to be in the room.
Yes, definitely.
But I've got 3 fantastic speakers. I've got Dr. Glynis Wright, who is a solicitor who has changed her career 3 times during her lifetime, and she's going to be talking about how she's done that and some of the great things that she's doing now. She actually works now as a divorce coach, using a lot of her skills from when she was a solicitor to help people through that now. We have Asha Clearwater. Asha Clearwater is a journalist, publicist. She's got a very interesting life story, health-wise, where she's overcome those challenges and then helps people to tell their story with that. And I think we've all got a story in us, all of us.
Yeah, we do.
And last but not least, we have Taz Thornton, who is a 3 times TEDx speaker, who has spoken at our events before, who generally just blows people's socks off. So
yes, she does. I remember Taz. She spoke at one of my events years ago when I worked somewhere else, and I met Asha as well. And yeah, it was very well received from Taz. So yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing all of you. But yeah, it should be a good day.
We also have a panel discussion in the day.
Yep.
That goes wherever the conversation takes it. That's always really interesting. And we have a little bit of time for some entertainment too. So
good.
It's an action-packed day.
That's good. One thing, I know this is all around women. Do you have any guys that ever want to sign up?
I've never had a guy who has asked, but if someone wants to come, you're more than welcome.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. I ran an event once just for women, and this guy did want to come. And I said, anyone's welcome, and he did come, but bless him, he sat on the table with a load of women. We tried to talk to him to get him involved, and I just think he was a bit embarrassed, but after he started opening up, and he really enjoyed it.
Actually, when I did the International Women's Day event a couple of years ago, we actually did have a panel for questions then, and we actually did have some guys on the panel. We're not inviting any guys to the panel this time.
Yeah.
However, as I said, this event is for it's for anyone who identifies as a woman.
Yeah.
But also, if you're a guy and you want to come and sit with us ladies for the day, crack on. You're more than welcome.
That's good to know. So anything else you want to get out just to make people aware about it, just so obviously when this goes out,
obviously that's the event, the Confidence and Wellbeing Conference. And the one thing I want to say about that is it's not just for people who do not feel confident, who do not feel well. Because I think sometimes people think, actually it doesn't apply. It doesn't apply to me. I'm okay, thank you. Actually, it applies to any woman who does want to feel those things more. So if you're already really feeling confident, then come, because actually you can help some of the other ladies in the room who may need it. But also, I defy you to walk away not feeling better than when you walked in.
Okay.
So it's not just for people who think, actually my confidence isn't very great today, or I don't feel very confident. You can definitely come and get something from this event if you do feel confident as well. Yeah. So it's for both.
I mean, there's a lot of networking as well, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's going to be so many people there to talk to about.
There's, we have plenty of time for free networking. One of the feedback we got last time is there wasn't enough. I don't think at these events there ever is enough, but we've got more opportunities. The Elite exhibition has some specific visiting times as well. So there will be times during the day where it's solely that is what you'll be doing. So that's an opportunity to network, not only with exhibitors, but also other people in the room. So that's a great time to do that. And we do still have some exhibition spots available, so if anyone's interested, reach out. And again, it's services. These people in the room are typically working women who are running businesses or leading teams. So again, what services could they need? And it's not just about beauticians, it's not just one of our exhibitors is about private health, because again, that's important.
Yes.
One of our exhibitors actually offers care services to people out in the community. So if you think about it, if you've got an elderly relative, or maybe you've got a child with special needs and you need some help to look after those to enable you to still go to work. Again, that's a service that's available, and no two exhibitors are the same either, so there's lots of different people to talk to, etc. there for that as well.
Okay, that sounds really interesting. So you've got a lot going on. So with what you do with Enlivened and your event in October, it's going to be really, really good. So the next question is, how can people get in contact with you about anything that you're doing?
Okay. We have an Enlivened website, which is enlivened.co.uk. I can be found on all of the normal channels. I don't do Twitter yet. Well, I don't do Twitter. And the other one I don't do, TikTok.
TikTok.
And the only reason I don't do TikTok is because I know I will go down a rabbit hole and I will never get out of it, and then it will just be mayhem. So
I've just started TikTok.
Have you?
Only just the other day. So
I applaud you.
There's not much on it yet, but I thought, I'm on all the other platforms, and I thought, do you know what, I should try TikTok as well. So, how it's going to go, I don't know, but it's there.
They can find me Enlivened, Julie at Enlivened on Facebook, and on LinkedIn I'm Julie P. Randall. I only put the P in there so it was easier to find me. P is actually for Patricia, for those who want to know. And just a little plug for something else I've recently created, which is the Giraffe Grief Club, which is a get-together for anyone experiencing any form of loss in their lives who wants to get some support, and that support is very, very low key. People literally rock up, they get themselves a drink, cup of coffee, whatever they want, and we sit and have a conversation, and from there people are, they are feeling supported and they are moving forward in their lives. I've got one lady who came, I won't name her, but she's really dear to my heart. She was bought by a friend, and she had lost both her parents now, and she felt really lost, and she was really struggling with really deciding what she needed to do to move forward. And one of the things that she wanted to do was to go and visit her son in Australia, but she kept putting in this, I don't think it's the right time, I don't think this, I'm not sure. But actually she's been to a couple of meetings now, and actually she's actually booked her trip, and she says that it was coming from the meeting and getting that support from other people that has helped her go, right, okay, I need to draw a line in the sand and I actually need to start making decisions. So for me, that's just so powerful. For others it seems such a little thing, but for her it's massive.
Yeah, definitely.
So we meet online, we also meet face to face. We have a couple of morning groups, and we also have an evening face to face group as well. So there's lots of opportunity, and people come for all sorts of different reasons. We've got one lady who came, as was mentioned, because her parents died, one because the relationship ended. I've got someone else who's come along because their business closed and they were struggling. Again, that is one of those. And there are over 40 different life transitions, if you like, that are possible for people to go through, where actually we grieve. So grief isn't just about people dying, it's about things ending and things changing. And often we can feel really out of sorts when that happens. So this is there for those. And then from there, if people want more, they feel they want more individual help, I do also do some group stuff as well. Then people can then get connected into that as well.
Okay, wow. So how do you fit that in?
Good question. Good question.
Sounds like you haven't got enough hours in the day.
I look like this. No, it fits in currently. Okay, thank you.
Good. I guess it's something you enjoy doing. It's something you like doing, helping people. So
it doesn't feel like work.
Exactly. So you'll find the time.
Absolutely. I know my other half, he's in a business that he's worked, I think it's now 47 years or something. Not the same job within that. He's worked for one company for 47 years, and he's coming to the point where he's going to retire. And he says to me, you work all these different hours. He said, but you don't look like it's work. I said, because it doesn't feel like work. Yes, it is work. I said, but I just enjoy it so much. I get so much from helping other people that it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah,
and someone
good.
Somewhere famous said, if you find a job that you love doing, you'll never feel like you're going to work. And I feel that
That's
I've
right.
definitely got
Yes.
that.
Yeah, I've
definitely
heard
got
that. I've heard that. That's good. And it would be good if everyone could be in that situation.
Absolutely.
So that's really good that you enjoy it. So thank you, Julie. We've got a lot to listen to here with what Julie's doing for Enlivened and also her events. So what I'll do is I'll put your links in the description so people know how to contact you. And I think for now we'll say goodbye. Come back again. We can do another one after your event, see how everything's gone. But for now, we're going to say goodbye from the Hubcast, and we'll be back soon. Thank you, Julie.
Take care.